Now, apologies in advance, this may be a long video, but it's very important. So let me start with a question. Is your organization menopause friendly? The risks of not considering menopause in an organization are high and can have serious impacts on reputation, with an increasing number of tribunals being brought and won on discrimination due to menopause. It's time for every organization to look to themselves and ask, how are we supporting menopause in the workplace? Welcome to another episode of Keeping Employment Law Simple. My name is Edward.
And I'm Emily.
And together we are the hosts of this channel. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
First, menopause is covered under the Equality Act 2010. It falls under the category of age, gender and even disability. Those bringing tribunals and menopause claims is ever increasing. This is one of the recent claims to be won, was a claim for unlawful discrimination based on age and sex.
The case in question is A versus Bondmark Limited, and that was in 2019. The claimant stated that she had been subjected to harassment and abuse over a continuous period because she was female and going through menopause. The woman was a long-standing employee with a good record, suffering from menopausal symptoms. She felt unduly criticized and humiliated by her supervisor, providing many examples of this in her evidence. She also had a statement of the impact on her health and well-being and information from her GP.
Her line manager refused to discuss her menopause issues or offer any help or support. When she escalated this, she was told to not take any further action and it would be dealt with, but no action was taken. Ultimately, she had a breakdown and needed time off work. On her return, she agreed to shorter hours with HR, but these were withdrawn by her line manager after her first week back. At this point, she resigned. She was unable to work for 9 months due to depression and anxiety and had taken a lower paid job.
Now, the judge referred to the definition of direct discrimination, Section 13 of the Equality Act 2010. They stated even though the claimant didn't name a specific comparator, they understood this was an employee who wasn't female and of menopausal age. He felt the comments specifically related to the claimant's characteristics. They believed this wouldn't have been said to someone who didn't have these characteristics.
The judge also referred to the definition of harassment, Section 26 of the Equality Act 2010, and felt in no doubt that the respondent was guilty of harassment. He believed they'd created a hostile environment for the claimant, and this was also related to her status as a woman going through the menopause. He considered this to amount to unlawful harassment on the grounds of sex.
Although there were no claims of constructive dismissal, the judge agreed that the claimant had resigned her position as a result of the discrimination and harassment. The total awarded was £27,975, £9,975 for loss of earnings and £18,000 for injury to feelings.
The learning lessons. This tribunal was a stark lesson for the claimant's employers. Menopause is not a subject to be dismissed, and managers must be prepared to have a productive conversation.
Line managers with clear guidelines and training on how to have the right conversations around menopause are far more likely to be able to support women. Companies which have introduced policies and processes need to make sure their managers are adhering to these. Women want to work in a culture where they feel comfortable talking about menopause and knowing they will be supported. When this isn't the case, it can be costly. This was demonstrated in the first ever menopausal tribunal case brought on the basis of gender discrimination, Merchant versus BT in 2012. The claimant's menopause systems included stress and poor concentration.
However, her line manager chose not to consider the impact of menopause or seek expert opinion or advice. This was in spite of the company's performance management processing stating managers should assess whether underperformance could be due to health reasons. She was eventually dismissed. At her tribunal, her claim was upheld on the basis that her manager would not have approached a non-female related condition in the same way.
Similarly, organizations must understand that tribunals can be brought under disability discrimination relating to menopause. In Davies versus Scottish Court and Tribunal Services 2018, the claimant had been prescribed medication for cystis to be dissolved in water. When personal items were moved, she became concerned others had inadvertently drunk the water and alerted them to this.
Although it turned out to be a false alarm, she was subject to rigorous investigation, disciplinary action and dismissal on the grounds of gross misconduct. The tribunal's ruling was that the claimant was unfairly dismissed and was subjected to disability discrimination. They ordered reinstatement to her post, £14,000 to compensate her for loss of pay between the period of dismissal and reinstatement, plus £5,000 in respect of injury of feelings.
Now, the costs of ignoring menopause. These are real cases, real women, and real outcomes. These are not women who have launched straight into a tribunal. They were let down by their managers, their organizations, and their processes, and felt they had nowhere else to turn to. Equally, these are real companies who, for whatever reason, didn't effectively support these colleagues. They lost out reputationally and financially because of the tribunal rulings, risks that simply aren't worth taking.
Is your organisation menopause friendly? What is your organisation doing to support colleagues through menopause? And how much do your line managers know and what do they do?
Now is the time for taking action. Menopause isn't hiding anymore, and it needs to be acknowledged and supported at work. And this, viewers, brings us to a close. We spoke about the issues, the award, and the lessons learned. Do not be caught out. Hope you enjoyed the video. Now, if you're looking for professional advice and guidance, you can contact us on
hubteam@hrhubplus.com
or 0333 577 0788. Don't forget to subscribe. See ya.